Hey guys, it's Dan with Philosophical Fishing. I hope you are all doing well today. I hope that you are finding some peace and some joy and little sparks of inspiration in your life as you go through this process. I wanted to make a video today on patience. Patience. Because if you're anything like me, before I went through the process of benzo withdrawal and getting sober and getting into recovery, I was not a patient person at all. I wanted what I wanted, when I wanted it, and I wanted it now, and I wanted it my way, and it had to be the way that I wanted it, or I was going to be angry, pissed off, and resentful. And certainly, I'm sure that one of the reasons that I used benzos is because it helped calm me at the moment. I wanted to feel calm and gave me that, albeit false, sense of peace when I wanted peace. And I didn't know how else to achieve that state of calm, serenity, and peace other than to take a benzodiazepine or some other drug. So learning how to patiently cultivate a sense of well-being or a sense of peace is going to be imperative for your journey as you come off of benzodiazepines and as you heal and as you go on this recovery journey. And I know I've said before quite a few times that this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You know, you have to look at it in the long game. And doing that takes patience. And by God, if nothing else, going through this process is going to teach you patience, because you're going to have to learn it. It's going to force you to learn patience, and it's going to force you into new ways of being. And it carries with it a lot of doors that can open for you and a lot of new experiences of living life and learning how to cultivate peace and serenity in your life. You know, and from what I've found is throughout this whole process, or really any painful process that life will throw at you, because just because you've come off of benzos now doesn't mean that life's not going to keep being challenging. It's going to continue to challenge you in various different ways. And you can either take those challenges, like right now going through benzo withdrawal, if that's where you're at, or if you're tapering, or wherever you're at with this process, you can take these challenges and use it as an opening to go deeper and to heal more and to find different and new and better ways to cope with your life. Or the alternative is you can become bitter, you can become frustrated, you can become resentful, pissed off, and that's only going to make your healing process worse. It's only going to make what you're trying to do and what your body's trying to do to heal and get back to a place of homeostasis. All those negative emotions, you can keep them pent up inside of you. That's your option to do that. And I know sometimes it's so goddamn hard and it feels just like, man, I'm doing my best right now, but I am beat down and I can't feel anything but pure agony right now. And that's very real, and that's okay. Like there's a place and a time for that too. But eventually, what I found for me is that I have to get to a place where I start to have some acceptance and start to practice patience with this entire process. Patience for myself and patience for whatever I'm experiencing and whatever life is giving me. And I think the concept of acceptance and patience really go hand in hand with each other. You know, if I can start to accept little by little that either I'm on benzos and I'm trying to get off and now I'm stuck in this taper that's really, really agonizing, or I've come off of benzos and you know what? Like for me personally, I got ripped off of benzos cold turkey in a treatment center and there was nothing I could do about it. I mean, I was completely at the mercy of the doctors in that facility that I was at. I went through this whole period of psychosis and I was so pissed off at the doctors. I was so angry, and rightfully so. I mean, they didn't have any medical protocol to take me off of benzos safely. They were just doing what they knew how to do and what they thought was right. They weren't trying to hurt me. So after initially being furious at these doctors, I eventually had to get to a place where I accepted that this is what happened, and now this was my lot, and I was going to have to find a way to get through the next few weeks in treatment to where I could then get out of treatment and then get on with my life somehow and not look back. Because I knew if I stayed resentful, I knew if I kept blaming the doctors, I knew if I kept not accepting what had happened to me, it was only going to tear me down. So it was the hardest thing in the world to accept, and it really taught me acceptance. It taught me that I have to accept this. I'm not going back on benzos. I know that's a dead end. I can't do that. I found myself a few weeks off of benzos and just having these horrible stroke-like symptoms where my vision was kind of going out, and I had to prop myself up against the wall just to make it down the hallway to go to the cafeteria to try to get something to eat. I mean, I felt like death. Once you can kind of move into a place of even just a little bit of acceptance, I'm not talking about 100%, I'm totally okay with what happened and everything's great. But if you can just have 5 to 10% of acceptance for what's happened to you, and then practice patience and giving yourself a break, giving the people around you a break, and just realizing that you are now in this place in your life where you are going to be challenged unlike you've ever been challenged before in ways that you've never experienced before, and that frankly you're not ready for, but you have to do it anyway. It's the only way through. Then you can start to experience what patience truly means. I'm not talking about patience standing in line at a grocery store and there's 3 people ahead of you and you're kind of in a rush. I'm talking about the type of patience where you've got to take a deep breath, exhale, and know that you're trying to do the best that you can each and every day, one day at a time. Some days are going to be really rough and your symptoms are going to come back and it's going to be horrendous. Other days you're going to have these amazing windows that open and you're going to feel like, oh my God, I think I'm actually having a moment of relief from this. It'll give you some hope that you're actually healing. And one of the things that I love to do is to realize that wherever I'm at on my journey today, wherever I'm at in this process, this is not the most healing that I'm going to experience. In other words, if I feel like absolute crap today because my nervous system is all revved up, I'm feeling all this crazy anxiety, my body hurts, I have benzo belly, whatever it is that's going on, I can know that it's going to get better. This is not going to last forever. I'm going to get past this and I'm going to experience more and more healing. And I'm not stuck there. As bad as it is, this too shall pass. And if I try to maintain practicing acceptance, practicing patience, practicing being easy on myself, practicing some quiet time and some meditation, and trying to do the right thing for my body with a little exercise or eating right, staying away from negativity, trying to focus on positive things, seeing if there's somebody in my life who I can be of service to and to help, I'm going to keep getting better. I'm definitely going to keep getting better. There's no way. If I'm doing those things at whatever pace or timeline it takes me to get better, maybe it's not, maybe your timeline is different than mine. Maybe you're all of a sudden better in a year or 2 years, where it's taken me 7 years to get to this point. I don't know. But if I'm just continually focusing on getting better, if that's where my mind is at, that's where my focus is at, that's what's going to expand and enlarge in my life. Likewise, if I'm having a really great window and I feel like, oh my God, I've got so much hope in this healing process, I'm actually experiencing it now, I can see that my body's getting better, then that's not even the best that I'm going to be. I'm going to continue to keep getting better past that point. Because for me, I'm at 7 years off benzos, and I probably mentioned on this channel that I feel like I'm healed, but I guess healing is subjective because, am I 100% healed? No, I'm absolutely not. I still deal with benzo belly. I still have anxiety that kind of comes up out of nowhere that I feel is still definitely due to the benzo injury. But I say that I'm mostly healed because I can do the things now today that I honestly couldn't even do before I was taking benzos. This process has strengthened me to the point where I'm actually putting myself into more uncomfortable situations than I ever had before in my life. And that is absolutely remarkable to me because when I first came off of benzos, I just wanted to shelter and hide. I couldn't talk to people. I could barely put words together. I was so damaged. My brain was so damaged. I couldn't remember anything. My memory was absolute garbage. I was just a miserable freaking trash pile, smoldering wreck. And I felt like I should just be kind of like put down like a horse with a broken leg, just shot. But I kept on with the process, and I gave it the due patience that it needs, that the process requires. And now I know 7 years off of benzos today, I can't wait to see what another 7 years will show me, or what another couple years shows me down the road. Because my plan is not to stop. I'm going to keep trying to get better. I'm going to keep finding new ways to heal, and I'm going to keep on this process because, for one thing, I'm never going back. I'm not going back to benzos. That's a dead-end road for sure. That's a highway to death. And two, having experienced the miraculous healing I've already experienced in my life, I know that it's not just all of a sudden done, and today, whatever day it is, November 2022, I know that this is not the best that I can be. I know that I can keep doing better. I can keep getting better. I can experience more spiritual healing, more physical healing. And I still have to practice patience because I can't force things to get any better faster than they will. If I'm trying to consistently do my best every day, and my best looks different from day to day. Sometimes my best on a Tuesday looks awesome, and my best on a Wednesday doesn't look so great. But it's still my best. I'm still trying to put my best foot forward and do the best that I can. And so healing will continue to happen in my life. And if you keep doing these things too, healing is going to keep happening in your life. You might get to a place within the next couple months where you feel like you're almost 100% healed, or it could be a couple of years for you. I don't know. But whenever you hit that point, you'll continue to see that, okay, now I've gotten to this point. What can I do next? And how can I expand my boundaries just a little bit further today and go a little bit farther and challenge myself just a little bit more? Because I'm going to challenge myself, and life is going to continue to challenge me. But I will also always bring my perspective back to where I came from. And I think that's really, really helpful to do, to realize no matter what I'm facing today, I am light years ahead of where I used to be. And I'm sure you guys are too. I've read so many of your comments, and I try to respond to all you guys. You guys keep inspiring me with your strength and your perseverance to keep going through what you guys are facing, man. And it's awesome. And I see you guys reaching out to each other and supporting each other. And that's awesome. That is so encouraging to me to see you guys encouraging other people. And so let's just keep going. Let's keep helping each other out. So I love you guys, and I wish you all the best.